What happens when a single question, a seemingly simple inquiry, brings an entire room to a dead stop? It wasn't the kind of question anyone would have expected at a press briefing. This wasn't about policies, budgets, or even national concerns. No, this was something else entirely. This was personal. And the way Caroline Levitt responded? It left the entire room speechless. The briefing had started just like any other. Caroline stood tall at the podium, radiating calmness and control, answering questions with clarity and confidence. Reporters fired their usual inquiries, and she responded with poised, professional answers. It was all predictable, routine, until it wasn't. Just when it seemed like the briefing was coming to a close, a reporter raised his hand. His voice, laced with sarcasm, sliced through the predictable rhythm of the room. "No cross today?" he asked loudly, the smirk on his face barely concealed. "I guess the faith was just a prop, huh?" The energy in the room shifted instantly. Conversations halted mid-sentence, fingers froze above keyboards, and an almost eerie silence fell over the press corps. You could feel it, the collective intake of breath, the weight of the moment pressing down on everyone. Dozens of eyes turned toward Caroline, waiting, watching, anticipating her reaction. The tension was thick enough to cut with a knife. Caroline stood there, the faintest pause before she responded. When she finally spoke, her voice was calm, steady, unwavering. "Next question, please." "It's irrelevant." But the reporter wasn't done. He leaned forward slightly, pressing harder, his voice louder this time. "Irrelevant? I don't think so. It seems pretty relevant to me. Looks like your faith was just for show all along." A sharp, collective gasp filled the air, a sound so quick and distinct it was almost tangible. A ripple of murmurs spread through the room, whispers moving like tiny cracks forming in glass. The weight of his accusation lingered, hanging in the air like an uncomfortable fog. But Caroline? She didn't flinch. She didn't roll her eyes, didn't scoff, didn't let a single flicker of frustration cross her face. Instead, she stood her ground, her expression calm, her posture unwavering. She let the silence stretch for just a moment before speaking again, her gaze locked onto the reporters. "Yesterday," she began, her voice level but firm, "one of your colleagues suggested that I remove the cross I wear around my neck. He said it might be seen as a political statement, that it could distract from the issues we're here to discuss. I told him then, and I'll tell you now, my cross is not a political statement. It's not for anyone's approval. It's an expression of my love for Jesus Christ. It's personal. It's sacred." As she spoke, the whispers faded. The room, which had been buzzing with murmurs moments before, now settled into an almost eerie silence. It was as if her words had drawn everyone in, forcing them to listen, to feel the sincerity behind them. No one was typing. No one was fidgeting. No one was looking around the room, waiting for the next question. All eyes were on her, captivated by the raw yet composed power of her response. The energy had shifted. The moment was no longer about a confrontation. It was about something deeper, something real. She took a small breath before continuing, her voice steady, but carrying an undeniable weight of emotion. "I didn't wear it today," she said, "not because my faith changed, not because it wavered, but because I wanted to show you and everyone watching that faith isn't about a piece of jewelry. It's not about something you wear. Faith is about how you live. It's about love. It's about truth." Then, she added, her tone unwavering, her words cutting through the silence like a blade, "And what's truly disgusting is you mocking that." The silence that followed was absolute. You could have heard a pin drop. One by one, reporters lowered their pens, their laptops, their cameras, their eyes. It was as if, in that moment, everyone in the room collectively held their breath. Even the reporter, who had asked the question with such arrogance, sat in stunned silence. The smirk that had once played on his lips was gone, replaced by something else, something that almost looked like regret. But Caroline wasn't finished. She lifted her gaze, this time addressing the entire room. "Faith isn't about symbols," she declared, her voice carrying more strength now. "It's not about a cross around my neck or a Bible in my hand. It's about what's in my heart. It's about the way I treat people, the way I stand firm in what I believe, even when faced with mockery. It's about grace, about conviction, about standing for something bigger than myself. And no amount of sarcasm, no smug remark is going to change that. Another beat of silence. Another moment where no one dared to speak, dared to move. The weight of her words hung in the air, undeniable, unshakable. And just like that, the moment was over. Karoline took a small step back, giving a single nod. "Next question," she said, her voice just as calm, just as controlled as it had been from the very beginning. The room remained silent for another few heartbeats before, hesitantly, another reporter spoke up, moving on to a different topic. But the energy in the room had changed. Everyone felt it. Everyone knew this was a moment they wouldn't forget. Because sometimes it only takes one question to bring a room to a standstill. And sometimes it only takes one answer to remind everyone exactly what faith truly means.